Pepsi's buying SodaStream. I don't know how to feel about that. Does that mean Pepsi's going to kill SodaStream, or is it going to be their new thing? I don't know. I don't know if the mic is picking that up, but there's like a humming. My air conditioner is on the other side of the house. My fan is off. The furnace isn't running. I don't know what it is. There are good days and there are bad days at my job. And for the most part, most of the days are just days. Today was one of those frustrating days where I was asked to replace a compressor in a 20-year-old split system, which seems like it should be fairly easy, being as it's on the ground and it's right at the back of the building and whatnot. But I go to the site, I see the compressor isn't running, the fan is. There's oil. There's oil in the bottom of this thing. Obviously, it's a problem. I don't really check anything else. That's probably bad of me, but this thing's 20 years old. 1998, October of 98, I think is the date code on it. So it's 20 years old. I've been saying to replace it for, I don't know, at least 8 of the 10 years that I've been there, because it's just not in good shape. In particular, the evaporator coil is kind of rotted out and rusted, and it's actually leaking into a secondary pan, which then drains down into a condensate pump for the last 8 years. It's that bad. But it's 20 years old. The compressor is gone. The compressor is just done. So I get the usual, just make it work, go ahead, replace the compressor. So first, I run and I pick up 2 portable air conditioners. I bring them back. I set them up. I have to run drain lines for them because, of course, there's no drains anywhere. So I have these 2 temporary units going into condensate pumps, which go and pump off to the janitorial sink. That's done. I go to the wholesale house. They say they've got a compressor in stock. Look, the cat's back. I get the compressor from the wholesaler. I bring it back. I'm having some problems with the cat and with remembering how this is all played out. Get down. I'm back. I got there this morning and it had no refrigerant in it at all, and I was a little bit like, whoa, wait a second. And so I pressurized it with some nitrogen, and sure enough, it was leaking out where the electrical connection comes, because it had arced and burned through the wall, apparently. Needless to say, it was a big burned up mess. There were problems. All sorts of damn problems. And I needed to put a flush kit in there, and it didn't do, I think most of it blew back on to me more than went into the system. Then I added some nitrogen to that and flushed all that stuff out. But it seems like all of the copper is contaminated with oils and whatnot, and I can't get a weld to stick. I'm trying to braze this stuff together, and it's just leak after leak after leak after leak. It's dirty copper, it's old copper, it's been through at least 2 burnouts, because this thing already had a suction line filter on it, and the only reason to put a suction line filter on it is if there's been a burnout. So there's been a burnout, and now there's a second burnout. I was there till 7 o'clock tonight trying to fix leaks, and I still have 2, maybe 3, that I ran out of acetylene. I was like, okay, done, going home now. So that was one problem, is that my braze joints were not, I mean, I cleaned them, I flexed them. You know, I see a lot of guys that don't do that. They just stick the stuff together and away they go. But I cleaned this stuff up and it's still not taking. I haven't had this much problem with brazing joints in, how long have I been doing this? It's got to be 20 years anyway, at least. So there was that. Then getting the old compressor out, the screws just spin and spin. They've got enough grab on them that you can't pop them out, but they're not unthreading. So after fighting with that for too long, finally had to pop those out with a hammer. What else? What else? Oh, yeah, I'm old, and I think it was young me that was talking about, oh, yeah, it won't be a problem carrying this 5-ton compressor around. It's kind of a problem. It's heavy and hurts my back. And then the biggest issue is this thing, this air conditioner, is on the sunny side of the building. So I'm sitting against the wall, the sun's beating down in this corner on me, on the condenser, on the wall, on the sidewalk. And everything over here is in shaded trees, and everything over here is shaded trees. And I'm just dripping with sweat. It was unpleasant. Needless to say, I spent one day arranging for the parts, getting temporary units, finding the temporary units, getting the temporary units hooked up, then finding a way to drain the temporary units, getting everything together for this, and then today doing all of this other nonsense. And I'll be back tomorrow, and I still haven't even pulled a vacuum on this thing. It won't hold a charge because of all the damn leaks. Like I said, there are good days and there are bad days, but this was not a good day. Anyway, yeah. I don't know what I was saying. I get the new compressor, I bring it to the site, hook up my gauges. I have 4 minutes of video and I've said nothing.